Hi, this is Mike. Welcome back to the Tesh Valley Railroad. Today's kind of a lessons learned on my part using the AnyRail software, which I purchased a license for several years ago. I've designed dozens and dozens of different layouts over as my plans have changed over the years. My final, hopefully final, design is a 10 foot by 14 foot layout that I'll have out in my garage. I did show some screenshots from the AnyRail software in my community here a couple days ago, as well as a couple shorts videos of the new switches that I received to try and start building that layout. The one thing I did not notice is that the 72 switches that I purchased, you really have to know how they go together with other pieces. I didn't realize that when I designed my layout, so I actually had to do some custom cutting on my crossover piece. So we'll go over that today as of lessons learned to really understand the pieces and parts that are in the AnyRail software and how they go together as you're designing your layout, if you choose to use the AnyRail software, which, like I said, I love using with the 3D pictures and stuff that it creates for you. I've created movies going around the layout in the software, so it's just great software to use. So hope you enjoyed today's video. Leave a comment or suggestion for any future videos as I start to slowly build my layout out in the garage. Thanks. There you can see the overall layout, 10 foot deep, 14 foot wide, two main loops on the main level there that are connected by the switch over to the right. The upper loop is just a simple rectangle for my passenger car set. The area that got me into trouble there were those 072 switches over on the far right. So you can see that's the main level. The little siding in the middle there is for my raised feed mill. Then there's the switches that allow the bypass to go back and forth. There's the upper loop by itself. So these are the photos that I posted on front view. Rotate it clockwise, you get a view from the left side. You can see a couple tunnels at the back, and then rotating it clockwise one more time, we'll get the rear view. Lots of tunnels on the back. The two main levels on the back are completely hidden. Only the top level is visible, and then there's the end that has those 072 switches that got me into trouble. So we'll dive into this a little bit more. So there they are over on the right again, and then you can see, if you zoom in here, you'll see that the parts I did not have the extra piece that the box shows. So I just had the crossover switch going directly to the switches. I did not have the extra piece in there. That's what got me into trouble. So here's what I had to do on my layout to fix this issue. So as you can see here, I didn't put that piece at the end of the 072 curve that has this little piece in the middle. So I actually had to cut out a notch in every section of this crossover piece, so I didn't have to add that piece, which I'm using over here, the side that has no border and that has only border on the outside. So other than that, this is the way I designed it. I did have to notch these out. I didn't realize that that's the way that piece had to be here to close out this little pie cut shape piece here. So it does work. Everything's going smoothly. You know, I don't have the power on right now, but everything was automatically switching. If you've got it set to straight and you have a train coming in here that automatically switches over, those of you that have used these fast track switches know how they work. But didn't see this little item here until it was too late. But luckily, you know, this will be covered up on the layout. I'll put some different colored ballast in the long term, but a little bit of an oops not knowing about this when I was designing the software, but hey, you just got to work around mistakes that you make and keep it going. So here's my 072 4 switches that will go from my outer to the inner loop on my layout, and then the inner loop, like I showed earlier, will allow the trains to go enter the inner loop and reverse direction and then go back up to the outer loop. So I wanted that on my layout. I know it takes up a lot of floor space. I do have a lot of buildings to squeeze onto the layout, but hopefully everything will work out in the long run once I start getting the rest of the switches and the rest of the tracks, and start building the bases, the plywood and the foam and everything, and start working my way toward the upper level for my passenger cars. So that's today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.